Welcome to Building Relationships Between Parameters. TouchDesigner's parameter system allows us to drive an operator's parameter with another parameter. This approach is referred to as parametric constraining. So let's take a look. Let's add a rectangle top to our network. What we want to do is we want to control the fill color with the size of our rectangle. So as the size increases or decreases, the color changes. And the way we're going to do that is we are going to click and drag on the size X parameter and let go of that on the fill color R. And we're going to select reference. Let's do the same with size Y and fill color G. Now we can see that immediately we have this expression here. And that is because we are using references. References are this blue color here. You can see when you highlight over it, it says expression. And references rely on this Python expression here to evaluate the source parameter. So in our case, we're evaluating the size X and size Y. And that is used to update our destination, which is our color. This is a one-way communication. And what we can do is when we change the parameters, so we can middle mouse click on size, decrease, increase. We see that our color is changing. We can also select one of them, so size Y, decrease, increase, and see the color change. So this is one approach for being able to change a parameter, which is exciting. Another approach is one operator could control another operator. So let's add a rectangle and then let's add a circle. I know we're going to use this twice because we want to look at references and we want to look at binding. So I'm going to select both. So I clicked on one, clicked on the other using the shift key, and I'm going to Control C, Control V, and now I have two. So let's first look at the first two, rectangle and circle. So rectangle 2, what we want to do is we want to change the radius of our circle. We have radius X and radius Y. And what we want to do here is we want to use size X and size Y. Since these parameters are similar, we can actually just click on size and let go on radius. And we can actually see that already we have that reference. We have that reference that shows that we're looking at our rectangle, our parameter size X and size Y. And we can see a dashed line between the two, which shows that there is a reference and the data is flowing between these two nodes. Now, when I middle mouse click on my size, we can see that we are indeed changing the size. And I just middle mouse clicked and I use my value ladder to change that. Amazing. Again, important to note, references are one-way communication. So if you tried to middle mouse click, you actually wouldn't be able to get the value ladder. You wouldn't be able to control your rectangle by changing your circle. But if we use binding, we would be able to do that. So before we go ahead, let's click on our circle 2 and let's go to the polygon parameter, turn that on, and I'm going to make this a 5-sided polygon. We want to use the rotate parameter here. And so we want the rotation of either the rectangle or this circle operator. We want them to control each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click and drag on my rotate from my rectangle, and I'm going to let go of that on my circle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select bind in this case. Boom. So important to note, we now see that this is purple, and if we hover over that, it says bind. So bind allows us to have that bidirectional communication. So here, the destination parameter can actually control the origin as well. And we can see that by just rotating this pentagon, which is amazing. We can also go back to our rectangle, rotate, and we're good to go. So binding is a great way to have that bi-directional communication. So that is just a quick look at the different approaches, references, and then binding for building relationships between parameters.